What is going on, guys? It's your boy K-Cross here, back with a video today, and in today's video I'm going to be discussing my picks for the wild card weekend, and basically that's it. I don't really know if I was right at all last week. I didn't really pay much attention. I never pay attention, so it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. No, it doesn't. But anyway, with that being said, I'm just going to go ahead and hop into it because basically, I always end up talking about one topic way too long randomly, and then I don't have any time in like the rest of the video to actually, discuss what I think individually about each game. I don't have time to give a little tidbit on each game. I always talk way too much about one game, and then I have to rush to the rest of them. So I'm gonna try to do this correctly today. Anyway, with the first game played, it'll be Saturday at 1 o'clock. It'll be the Colts and the Bills. Obviously, I'm a big Colts fan, but, this will be a tough game for us. I do think if anybody's going to beat the Bills, it's going to be the Colts, the Ravens, or the Titans. Obviously, I think the Chiefs could beat them too, but I just feel like those are the teams that the Bills don't want to see. The Bills definitely don't want to see the Titans after what they did to them in the regular season. However, that fact that they have seen them has probably, helped them more than, not seeing them. You know what I mean? Like, that fact that they know what to look for now, like they know what's going to happen now, they can better prepare for it, I feel like. So, probably the most threatening team to the Bills right now is actually the Ravens, and I would put second most threatening is the Colts. Obviously, the Chiefs don't count because they're in the next round, so it really doesn't matter. But basically what I'm trying to say is the most threatening teams that they could have played at this point would have been the Ravens, and I think the Colts now, because both teams are successful at running the ball whenever they are. Obviously sometimes they aren't, but both teams are usually successful at running the ball and run the ball fairly well, and they both have really good defenses. Both teams do, and I feel like those are kind of the things that the Bills are not wanting. You know what I mean? Like, the Bills obviously have a great offense right now. The only weakness that is killing them is their run defense. I feel like everybody knows this. It's probably their biggest weakest point, and they obviously need to get that fixed if they're going to make a deep playoff run. However, I feel like that's why I think the Colts might win the game. However, I never bet for my team, so I'm going to go ahead and say Bills 35, Colts 24. I do think if they're going to lose, they're going to lose in a undesirable way. So anyway, that's my opinion on the first game. To the second game will be the Rams and the Seahawks. Now, the Rams are the only team that I can think of that really shut Russell Wilson down. That one game, I don't want to say the only team, but they were the only team that makes Russell Wilson look frustrated. Honestly, that also doesn't make any sense. I'm not trying to say it as a thing of Russell Wilson's has a tough time against them, but that's how it appears. You know what I mean? They appear to have trouble with the Rams, and that's why I think this is a good matchup. Obviously they are both good teams. The Rams not as much as the Seahawks. I think the Seahawks are honestly the better team. I just think it's one of those things where it's like a divisional type of game is always tougher for a team than just a random game. You know what I mean? And that's because they see each other often. So with that being said, I think the Rams will give the Seahawks a run. I think, honestly, I'm thinking the same score as the last game, to 20-9 or 20-14, something like that. The Rams seem to have trouble on offense whenever it's a crucial game, and that's why I just don't believe in them. I'm not gonna lie to you, I just don't believe in them that well, because I feel like they could put up 50 in the regular season, but they just have trouble doing it in the postseason or in big games. So that's what I see for that game. Seahawks, I'll go ahead and say 21-13 or 21-14, one of those two scores. And then to the next game would be the Buccaneers and Washington football team. Obviously, I've said before now that Tom Brady's probably the luckiest human alive whenever it comes to getting matchups in the playoffs against nobody teams. I don't want to say nobody teams, but you know what I mean. The Washington football team is the worst team in the playoffs. They are, without a doubt. I actually, I'll go ahead and put them under the Bears. That's saying something. But I think, obviously the Buccaneers are probably going to hurt them. It's probably going to be a 38-21, 38-24 type of game, honestly. If the Washington football team beats them, I will eat my words, and I will be 100% happy about it. I will, that'll be a fine meal if I get to eat my words. But I just don't see it happening. I really wish that the Cardinals would have gotten in and played that game, because I think the Cardinals probably be a pretty good matchup. However, with Kyler Murray shaked up, I guess not as much, but I would have liked to seen it, I guess, basically is what I'm trying to say. Um, it's just wild to me that the Buccaneers got that lucky and got that spot. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. How do you do that? How can you be that lucky? Anyway, with that being said, on Sunday, the first game will be the Ravens and the Titans. Now, everybody knows that this honestly is my top game of that day. This is my top game probably of it all, honestly. It's either this game or the Colts and the Bills game, and the two games that I'm looking most forward to. I think the Rams and the Seahawks games are kind of boring usually, but they are, they're close, but they're kind of boring. And I think this probably be the most exciting game of the first round or the wild card round. I will say this is a tough one. I think I'll say, the Titans have won the whole entire series to this point, right? I can remember, obviously these two teams have become sort of rivals, and I think ever since then I can only remember the Titans winning the series. And I think, it's going to be tough for the Ravens to beat them, but I personally think that the Ravens will beat them. I don't know if the Ravens are underdogs in this or not. They should be for sure. I don't know. ESPN's got them at a 62-37. I don't think that's right. I think they shouldn't be at the they shouldn't be the favored team. I think the Titans for sure should be, because obviously they've won both games, or all the games in recent memory I could think of against the Ravens, and they've given them trouble and have proven to give Lamar Jackson trouble. So, they obviously should be favored, but it is what it is. I still want to take the Ravens in this just because I feel like this is a must-win for a lot of people on the team, especially Harbaugh. I think obviously he's done some great things in the team, but if he can't outcoach the Mike Rabel out of the last 4 meetings they've had, if he can't do it at least once, then it's not a good look for him. And honestly, I feel like the Ravens have so much talent, and just it's almost like you haven't seen them do much with it, and I feel like that's why it's a must-win game for several people on the team, including whoever the offensive coordinator is. So we'll just have to see on that one. I will take the Ravens. I think the Titans are a team that they can score a lot, but I just really don't think that they have what it takes to score a lot. You know what I mean? Unless they're just having a good game, they don't really score a lot, in my opinion. And I'm gonna put them at a 28-24 type situation with the Ravens winning this time. And that's what I see. Yeah, something like that. 31-24, 28-24, something like that with the Ravens winning. I think like I said, I think they'll play with a lot more desperation this game. I think they're definitely not going to take their foot off the gas if they get up on them this game. And then the next game will be the Bears and the Saints. Can't believe the Bears got in, but good on them, I guess. I think they are playing the Saints, so that's interesting. I thought the Saints were first, but I guess the Packers did secure the spot. I forgot about that. So I'll take the Saints in this. But the Bears might give them a run for their money. I wouldn't be surprised if they did keep the game close. I wouldn't say they're going to, be like a super threat or anything, but Trubisky's been playing decent, and the defense is obviously not bad for the Bears. I think, they like to keep games close, so it is what it is. I think the Saints should blow them out, but I will say that they keep it close. I think the Saints will win this, though, 34-21, 34-28, 27, something like that. You know what I mean? They'll keep it close, but not within punching range. You know what I mean? So, anyway, with that being said, the last game is the primetime game. It's the Browns and the Steelers. Really shouldn't be the primetime game, in my opinion. Personally, I think the primetime game probably should be the Ravens and the Titans. Obviously, they've had a pretty, big rivalry between the two of them, and the Browns and the Steelers just played last week. Everybody saw what happened whenever the Steelers had backups in, so you can only imagine what's going to happen whenever they have starters in. Not to mention with the whole Brown situation going on right now with the locker room, and they had the facility shut down for COVID and everything. Now, with that being said, if they cancel this game and they push it back to next week, I probably won't continue to have the same pick. I think the Browns can beat these Steelers. I think it's just a matter of luck, honestly. That's just what it seems like to go to, is just luck. But I think it just depends, because if they're playing Sunday for sure and they get the facility shut down right now and they're you know, not going to be able to practice much this week, I think the Steelers have to win it, right? They probably will win by a decent margin. I'd say probably like a 35-21. So that's what I'm going to say if the, you know, there's no practice and the facility continues to stay shut down. However, at the same time, you know, maybe they get to watch a lot of film. Maybe they get a game plan going against the Steelers that, you know, nobody else has going yet, and they, you know, completely crush them. So, you know, those are my two options. They're probably not very good options, very indecisive, but basically I see it going either of those ways. They either get crushed by the Steelers or they crush the Steelers. I just don't know. You know, I guess it could be a close game. And, you know, might as well throw in all three options. But basically, I think it'll be tough to say on this one, just because of the fact that, you know, there's so many unknowns right now. And I just think, you know, like, I wouldn't be surprised at any outcome of this game, to be quite honest with you. And that's just kind of like where I stand on it. I don't really know, you know. I think I'll go ahead and have to say the Steelers 35-27. I'll go ahead and say that just in case, you know, they do get to practice and it was just like a one day thing that they closed down the facility and they get to watch extra film and all that. So I'll go ahead and say 35-27 is final score, but I also actually want to go ahead and say, yeah, never mind. I think I'm actually going to go ahead and lower that score, because I think this probably is going to end up being a low-scoring game. I think I'm going to go ahead and say 17-8. Nah, 8's kind of a weird score, isn't it? Say 17-9 or 17-10, one of those two. Or maybe even a 20-10, maybe a 20-13, maybe a 20-7, something like that, with the Steelers winning. I think that's my final answer. And those are my picks for this week, the Wildcard week. I want to know what you guys think. If you have any opposite opinions of mine, and let me know your reasoning and whatnot. And I will see you guys later. Peace.